Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of our newly founded podcast, What Are You Drinking? Today we got a full roster here, so we're just going to jump right in. Our topic of the week is going to be, what is your favorite gaming announcement? Now, the announcement itself can be anything from a console, some shocking news, a game that you read about in a magazine, or even something as simple as like a friend telling you something in school and then and freak out or something, okay? So anyways, let's jump right in. I think I'm going to just grab one of you guys, and why don't you go ahead. Dan, why don't you start us off and relegate us with a tale?
Oh, sure. My favorite gaming announcement, I think, was around 2008 for Wrath of the Lich King expansion for WoW.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Going back, I mean, playing Warcraft 3 and going through the story of Arthas and then finally being able to see him in the World of Warcraft. That was a pretty big announcement when that was coming out. I was pretty excited. I was well into that in high school and university. I played way too much of that game.
That was first off, that was the first expansion, right, for WoW?
That was the second expansion. The first one involved Illidan.
I see.
But the second one, I enjoyed Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne when that came out, and It was just nice to finally see something like that happening.
Was that one also introduced with like a cinematic trailer, like Blizzard usually does? Yeah,
and Blizzard's cinematic trailers, they always put a lot of good work into those.
Absolutely. I just saw the StarCraft one actually last week, and it was, even though I don't really play StarCraft anymore, they just keep getting better, which is surprising considering how good like even 10-year-old cinematic trailers are.
Yeah.
Cinematic trailers really had a heyday for that period of time, though, too.
Yeah, it did.
That's a good
point. There were a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, and I think the graphical difference between the cinematic trailers like 10 years ago was so huge, right? Like when games looked a lot worse.
Yeah, you knew it wasn't gameplay.
Exactly, but it was just a way for them to kind of stretch their artistic legs, right?
Yeah.
I have to echo the Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne game for me too, though, man. I played that game so much, and I never played WoW, but I can honestly say I was pumped for anybody that did when I saw that the Lich King had Arthas in it, because I loved that game. Absolutely loved it.
Well, Kyle, why don't you go ahead and what do you think? Do you have anything in mind?
Mine isn't a game. This is going back to back, I guess, around 2000, I guess it came out. It was when the PlayStation 2 was announced and released.
Oh, big one.
That was a big one for me because, I mean, I was, raised on I would say more raised in terms of gaming on the N64 and that, but, like, I was too young at the time when the N64 came out to truly appreciate, the magnitude of that system. But, like, when the PlayStation 2 came out, like, that was huge, like, and just in terms of the jump from PlayStation and N64 up to
Absolutely.
That was like massive. Seeing the gameplay videos for it, like I remember just losing my mind looking at like how far it had come to that, and not to mention like I was like, it can play DVDs. What? That's crazy! It's a game system plus DVDs. Like
it was one of the cheaper DVDs too, right?
Cheapest DVD player ever.
Yeah, at the time, exactly. I was going to say, at the time, it was cheaper than almost all DVD players were on the market.
It wasn't a great DVD player.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
But
your
parents
right,
would believe
absolutely.
that it was okay, right?
Yeah, you go, dudes, we don't need to buy a DVD player now.
Yeah, it's a DVD player. We should get it.
Yeah, because you would factor in the price into a DVD player, but like it's basically a $50 extra for a PS2.
It was fantastic. Like it was just wild. Like the PlayStation 2 for me was like the biggest thing watching all the videos, and like the first Grand Theft Auto game that came out for it, and like
I'm thinking back at the PlayStation 2 launch, and there's a couple of announcements that I remember. First off, I remember like all the magazines showing him holding up that glorious black box in E3.
Oh, I know.
And then secondly, I remember actually walking to a Sony store in the mall, and they had a PS2. They're playing like their shitty launch games. I still remember a few of them. One was called Smuggler's Run, which is a Rockstar game.
I do remember it. Yeah, it was a Rockstar.
That was amazing.
How about Stuntman? Did you ever play Stuntman?
I remember Stuntman. Yeah, that was like
that was the first game I had on PS2.
it was touted as like a driver game. Do you remember Driver?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the driver like counterpart.
Exactly. So I remember that, and there was Kinetica. That was another like weird motorcycle game, and then Frequency was the other one that I remember.
Wasn't there a shooter game as well, like a first-person shooter that was all right?
Well, if you remember, first-person shooters were in their infancy back then, right? Like, are you thinking of the? Because what I remember is Resistance, which is for PS3. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I'm not thinking of that.
No.
I can't remember that.
There was like a first-person shooter that was in. I actually just rewatched Superbad, and I'm like, oh shit, I played that game that Michael Cera was playing. Oh, I forget what it's called.
I don't even remember.
Black Monday.
There's a game called Black.
Yeah. And
No.
The Getaway?
No.
Not Black.
Is it the Getaway?
That's like a GTA clone.
Black Monday?
That was one of my first PlayStation 2 games. Was the Getaway.
Really? That's an odd game to be your first.
I had the Getaway
Yeah.
and Smuggler's Run. Those were my first 2 games.
Sweet. So it was the Getaway. No, the Getaway was released way later, man. It can't be the Getaway.
I'm looking at the list.
The
There's
system.
this game called
Breach System.
Gun Griffin Blaze.
Pete, you have to keep in mind that when the PS2 was released, like the PS1 was in its prime, and like they were riding the biggest wave. They could release hot garbage, and it would be like sold like crazy.
I think I know the game. Time Splitters.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I had that game
sick.
too.
That was a shooter, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a sick game.
It was a
That
really
might be
good
the
game.
one.
Yep.
I think that's the one.
It was cross-platform, right?
Yeah, I think it came. I think Time Splitters 2 came out on GameCube. But I think 1 was on
true.
PS1, PS2.
I was gonna say there's a lot of PlayStation fanboys here.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Why don't you relegate us with a possible Nintendo tale here then for your favorite announcement? Do you have anything?
All right, well, fine. I'll kick it back. I mean, for me, I remember specifically, and it kind of relates to the whole graphics thing. When I first saw like a trailer for Mario Kart 64.
64. I was like, which one?
It
So I
looks so
remember,
real.
I loved Super SNES version, right? Like I love playing it. I kind of made my parents play it or whatever. And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, Mom, Dad, the graphics are real life. Like this is it. This is as good as it gets. I need this system. And it's funny because like that trailer didn't come out, until the system was out for a little while. But that was like my I need to have it moment. And yeah, that was it. That sticks out for me as one of the top gaming kind of announcements or trailers or whatever.
Sweet.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna jump in, I guess.
Sort of animation to it, didn't it? Like Mario Kart
Yeah.
64. 'Cause it made it look like it was 3D, but the models weren't actually 3D. They were
exactly.
rotating 2D.
Yeah, it was smart, and even like the extra little detail, like I remember the way the water looked at the beach level. I just lost my mind.
Yeah. I loved how you could like kind of explore the castle that was in Mario 64 on that one level. That's so cool.
That was
Totally
awesome.
disregarded the race. You had like a certain amount of time before you got 8
Yeah.
against all the computers.
Yeah. All right.
Like I don't even care. I'm going in the castle.
I want to know what's
Whatever.
in there.
Well, Pete,
And all
what about
the
you?
the gaming legends, like Yoshi's in there, man. You can get him.
All the
That was
Easter
the
eggs.
biggest-
Yeah, and this was before like the internet was totally
Yeah.
spoiling everything.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
And like someone at school would swear that he had it, and you'd be like, "No
Yeah.
way!" Like
Yeah.
you like, and then like everyone
My
was trying.
cousin's older brother knows a guy at in his grade 8 class
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah, his
Or
dad
he's in
works for
grade eight.
Nintendo.
No, it was always
Swear
the
on my
uncle.
life.
The uncle works at Nintendo.
Uncle, it was always an uncle. You're right.
Yeah, man. I remember one of the best games for like hidden stuff, and they did such a good job with it, was Rogue Squadron for the 64.
Oh,
Yep,
true.
I played the shit out of that game.
You wouldn't believe the hidden stuff in that. Like, you had the X-wing and stuff like that, but they didn't mention at all that you could get the Millennium Falcon, but you could unlock it. You were just like, holy shit! And then
That was amazing.
This was like 1998, I think, 2 years before the Phantom Menace came out, and they even had like the Naboo Starfighter.
Wow.
Yep.
They'd put it
I
in.
remember
It was
that.
one of the first appearances of any of the Episode 1 things, and
Yeah.
they put it in the game. It was awesome.
Sweet. sweet.
I remember how satisfying the sounds were for the blaster on that thing. It was awesome.
Oh yeah. Just thinking about it.
It's all coming back to me now. Those sounds too.
That's awesome.
I feel like sounds were ahead of graphics at that time, so like having really rich, meaty sounds at the time,
true.
like that really enhanced your experience.
Absolutely, because everything I remember from back then is like chiptune kind of like NES sounds,
God.
right?
Did you ever play, Chips Challenge, holy shit, did anyone ever play that game?
We were talking about last
We
week.
brought this up. We brought this up last week.
After the first 5 minutes of the last one.
I
Yeah.
apologize.
It was a
I
great
apologize.
conversation though, and you should.
Oh
yeah.
my god, that game was phenomenal.
Because I brought that game up. I was like, has anyone ever played Chips Challenge? They're like, no. And then they look it up. They're like, oh fuck this game.
We all played it.
Damn, yeah, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
All
I'm
right,
glad you
let's
did that.
go to the next person here.
All right, Pete, why don't you go ahead?
It's pretty similar. Like the one I thought of was when the GameCube first came out. There was a site called Nintendo Next, and me and my friend like went on it every day to see what little news would trickle because it was between the N64 and the next one, and it just every little bit of thing was so much hype.
And it's
there
relevant.
was Space World. Do you guys remember Space World?
I
Do they
remember
still do
Space
that?
World, yeah, I think they brought it back like this E3 or something. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. But I
Space
remember
World is
Space
sim-
World.
And when I first saw the release video, one of the things, I think there was just this. It was kind of like a demo video, and there was a video of Link and Ganon fighting, and then there was
I
actually
remember that.
Rogue Squadron 2 demo, and they were flying around the Death Star. And similar to what Mike was saying, I couldn't believe that graphics could get any better than what they were in this video.
Pete, for me
Just
with
like,
Rogue Squadron
this-
2, it was at Walmart when I went there and I saw the it wasn't the space battle. For me, it was the AT-AT, and you could like wrap its legs around.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, it was so satisfying to see it. Like you didn't see that for so long. It was such a good launch game. And wasn't Melee a launch game too?
Yeah, it was.
That's
What a great
insane.
launch game. That must be one of the
Yeah,
best
man.
launch games.
Absolutely.
That
game,
made
yeah.
me buy my GameCube.
That game
I wa-
blows almost everything else on the GameCube out of the water in terms of longevity and just quality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
it's-
think I logged at least 2,000 hours in that.
And what a
That's
weird
why I
choice
almost
that the
failed.
launch color. The launch color
Yeah.
was purple.
It was so bold, right? Like what a bold move to make.
Not just like a little bit purple, like it was deep purple. They did the
Exactly.
N64 in clear purple, which was really cool. And
Yeah.
They're like, no, just fucking deep as hell.
Well, they had done it in the past. The Game Boy Color was available in that exact same shade of purple.
That's true.
But you're
I
right.
had
like,
that.
to be
I had
the
that
to be
color
the
Game
base
Boy.
model is pretty ballsy. You're right.
And the Game Boy Advance came out, and it was
That's right.
purple
That's
Yeah,
right.
they
That's
did
right.
that.
when it first came out, too.
They must be fans of the color. Yeah. I remember regarding your story, Pete. For me, when I learned about the GameCube, it was well, first off, it was called the Dolphin, and that was all rumors. And second off, I remember recording. I remember I used to rent game magazines from the library, and Nintendo Power was one of them. Yeah, and Nintendo Power used to rent them and read the stories about it. And like, just like we were talking about how we don't have the internet back then, like people would write letters to the magazine, Nintendo Power, and be like, "Oh, I heard my friend unlocked some character in Melee or something," you know? Stuff like that. But yeah, that's where that's my memory with the Dolphin is reading about it on Nintendo Power.
Yeah. Such a biased magazine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course. It was paid for by Nintendo.
Yeah.
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 Man, I completely forgot about that magazine until now.
Yeah. It
I had a
actually just
subscription.
stopped. It just stopped like a few months ago, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, with the last
Aw.
issue, they made a really big
That's
deal about it. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
There's
That's
just
awesome.
not readership for that type of thing anymore.
I know it's not the right industry anymore, right? With the magazines.
No, yeah.
Only the
I mean,
best
they're
is
doing
good.
fine elsewhere, obviously. Like, everyone's going to blow Easter eggs out of the water.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
days
Oh,
after
YouTube,
launch.
for God's sake. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go
It's just
now.
not the
Mine's a weird one. Mine's so I'm like Kyle said, and like even Mike, like, you guys have your fanboys towards certain consoles, and I'm surprised when I brought up the topic, I thought I would pick one from Sony or something in it, but it's not. For me, one of the games I've loved my entire life, despite the fact of never owning the Microsoft the console that was on, was Microsoft, and it's Halo. It's Halo 2 was the game that I freaked out about, and that one was so Halo was obviously a huge deal. Another amazing launch game on the Xbox. And then at E3 they came out and they showed this demo, and I remember watching it, and there's some great YouTube videos online for it where you can see the audience reaction, and you could just hear the crowd absolutely nerding out over this trailer, right? And it was so cool. And I remember like there's a part where like Chief is walking around, Master Chief obviously, and then he sees like a gun on the ground, and he picks it up, and like you take it for granted now, but he dual wielded it, and the crowd lost their fucking mind. I started screaming.
That's not possible!
Yeah, like it was just the coolest thing ever in a video game. And like even me, like watching it on like some shitty stream or something, wherever I could, I was losing my mind. I'm pretty sure I downloaded the demo from like Kazaa or something to watch it.
Oh
And I
my
was
God.
like,
Nice.
it was
Oh wow, what a
insane.
throwback.
And you watch the trailer, and it's like it just makes Chief look so badass, right? Like he's like at the end of the trailer, like Cortana even looks at him and she's like, "Bet you can't stick it," talking about like a plasma grenade, like bet you can't, stick it on this guy. And that was like obviously what everyone tried to do in the game. And he's like, "You're on," and it's just so badass. And like the crowd all stood up and cheered, and like I'm in my little seat, and even I'm standing up, like living vicariously through them. And it just got me so unbelievably hyped for a game and console that I had never even owned. That was the power of Halo. It like single-handedly sold that console. It's just huge. I'd say.
Yeah, like the most powerful launch game to launch with was Halo and Halo 2. Obviously, Halo 2 more than Halo because Halo was not
Well, Halo 2 brought
a
online,
recording
right?
system.
Like I would argue so much to say. Well, first off, I would say Halo popularized console first-person shooters, and obviously the debate to that is GoldenEye. But the second point I'd make is
GoldenEye, yeah, good counterpoint.
Goldeneye.
yeah, the second point I'd make
I would
is
call it GoldenEye.
hands down though, Halo 2 popularized and mainstreamed online gaming, online first-person shooter.
Don't
gaming.
disregard Medal of
Online
Honor.
and probably competitive.
Oh,
gaming
true.
At the same time.
Medal of Honor's good.
Medal of Honor doesn't get enough credit for that.
It was good. Don't get me wrong. I was there in the PS1 stages too, but think about Halo 2 and its lasting power on the online stage. Like it really pushed forward like the network adapter for the PS2 and GameCube and online capabilities for the Xbox.
Remember you had to get the multi-tap for the PS2?
I remember the multi-tab. It's such a piss off of a peripheral, man. It's like
It didn't make any
$60.
sense that consoles had 4 ports for so long, and they released the PS2.
Oh
with 2.
yeah, the
I
two
know.
ports.
So annoying, man.
Those are up there.
Yeah.
That was one of my greatest arguments against
So
PlayStation.
Yeah, and then the Wii U came out, and you had to buy like fucking 30 of them.
Well, I actually remember, and this is a quick little segue. and we'll go to the
Nintendo was
next
like, "Fuck that! That's such a good idea."
I remember when the PS3 came out, they were boasting, what was it, like 7 controllers could be connected at once? And you're like, why would you ever need 7 controllers connected at once? Like, it's not even an even number. Like, why would you do 7?
I know. We've tried it. Like I'm pretty sure, like once Mike and I like brought as many controllers as we could, and
Oh, yeah.
each player controlled a different NHL character. in
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
NHL.
you can control the whole
It was
team
just-
plus one guy in the
It was
on the
chaos,
bench, right?
man. It was so difficult.
Chaos.
Do you know
That's
how
so awesome.
terrible of an idea that is, by the way?
Oh, it's terrible.
And how little that works?
Yeah, exactly.
Get,
You realize how shitty you are at
5
playing as a
guys chasing one
team.
guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pass me the
It
puck.
turns into like 5-year-olds playing where just everyone chases the puck.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Timbit soccer.
Yeah, no one wants to actually set up a play, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, last thing I want
man.
to say before I move on is about Halo. Last thing, I could spin a whole podcast about Halo, but I will say that I read a story on Microsoft saying that they believe that Halo has the powers to be a mega franchise, just like things like the Marvel Cinematic Universe and things like on Star Wars. And I think I would agree with that. It's so big. They just need to treat it well. They can't overexpose it. And they don't do to it what you did to Call of Duty. Don't let it die yearly, But I think it has the capacity to do it. It's got lore. It's got a great story. It's got a fantastic protagonist. And it's got great gameplay to back it up.
Definitely.
And it's got Nathan Fillion.
And it's got it.
It does
Oh,
have
it's your
Nathan
backbone
Fillion.
right there.
All right, Mark, why don't you go ahead?
So my favorite one would have been, it's really a gift and a curse, I guess you could say. Final Fantasy 13.
God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The hype was through the roof for that game.
Oh my god. I was so excited. Final Fantasy 7 I loved. Final Fantasy 8 I loved. Final Fantasy 9 was fun. Final Fantasy 10 I loved.
11 was a break, right? So you were
11
pissed off
was an
about it.
MMORPG,
Yeah.
which I'm like, I'm not
Very
fucking
big
paying
break
for a
for that.
subscription.
Yeah. And 12 was
12 was
disappointment.
really good. Like once you got past some stuff,
Yeah.
and especially the Rogue Tomato, once you got past that, then it was fantastic.
Once you got past that, the game really opened up, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, once you got past that, those first 60 hours or so, the game really opened up.
That's nice.
And I remember driving. I think Nuge, was it opening day?
Yeah.
Like the first day it was released?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I remember doing that. Yeah.
Yep. We were all there.
No, it was me and Nuge. That was Final Fantasy 12.
That's right.
Final Fantasy 13. Nuge and I think it was Nuge and I. We went out to Best Buy in Ancaster.
Yep.
And we're like, man, we're buying Final Fantasy 13. This is gonna be amazing. This is the best. Can't wait to play it. And it was the biggest piece of shit game. Every single time I saw it on my shelf, I'm like, oh.
Well, I want to quickly talk to you about why 13 deserves the hype that it deserved, and why we are justified in being so excited for it. Like you said, 7 to 10 amazing games. 12 slight disappointment. So the hype for 13 was unreal. Then you learn that everyone behind like 7 is like making the characters for it, right? Like Nomura made the Lightning, and she looks just like Cloud. And like the game was in development for so long, so you thought it was going to be, and it was the first one on PS3, right? So people were losing their minds. Like we had every justified right to be excited for that game.
Mm-hmm. I just thought that around the next corner, this game's gonna get good.
I know.
Just like I'll just go down this hallway, and just the next corner.
I'm gonna give it
something's
5
gonna
more
happen.
minutes.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it was
5 more
such
minutes.
a carrot on a stick game. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you knew it, it was over.
Oh god. I'm sorry, Haven. You're right. I can see why you said good and bad, because I was so excited and it was such a disappointment. And that's just the way gaming can be, right? They could sell games so well through marketing and advertising. It just burned us so hard.
It was my first Final Fantasy,
Oh,
and
what
I
a
did
way to
enjoy it.
start.
I enjoyed playing it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
The graphics were okay, and battle
The
system was
graphics-
okay. Everything else sucked.
Yeah.
Cinematics were great.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember the launch trailer for it?
Yeah, it was the one
How,
with
like, they
lightning
had,
and
like,
the trains and stuff, right?
Yeah, go through the train, and it's like, oh, this represents real gameplay.
And we were losing our minds, yeah. Same thing.
God, it was the most.
True.
There was nothing good about that battle system.
I know. That's why we're all so skeptical about 15 now, right? Like, we're so scared. And,
Yeah.
like, I'll wait until it's in my hands. And well, I'll wait until
I could barely finish that game, but I could play those earlier ones. I could play them over and over and still have fun.
Yeah.
And then they made 2 more.
Yeah. All right, one more. Glenn, why don't you take us home? Let's
I think
see.
mine is like a good follow-up to Mark's too, because it has been somewhat bittersweet. But honestly, like I remember being I think it was first year university, and probably you're the one who told me, Shrenuj, but you like came in with a PC Gamer and you're like, holy shit, they're making a Guild Wars 2.
Oh yeah. I remember.
And you had
I was wondering if anyone was going to do that one.
You had
Damn,
seen
son.
it on the shelf at the store, and you were no longer subscribed to PC Gamer, and you bought it just because you were like, holy shit, it says Guild Wars 2 on the front. And I just remember being like, oh my god, this game is going to fucking blow shit up for like us and our group. And it was just fucking... It was so amped, and it was so amped for so long, because it didn't
They
come out
announced
for
it
like
so
another 5
early.
years.
Yeah, they announced
Or
it.
3 or 4 years at least. Like, it was a ridiculous amount of time that it was announced and then not out.
I know. So for those of you who don't know, the PC Game article
I was
Glenn
just
is
gonna
referencing, it was a PC Game article released like in 2009, and it was pre Eye of the North even. So they announced
they
Eye of the
weren't even
North.
done doing expansions.
Yeah, they canceled.
Yeah,
They canceled
they were-
an expansion they were making called Guild Wars Utopia, and they decided to change it to Guild Wars Eye of the North. And then they also announced Guild Wars 2 with it. And they just gave like tiny tidbits. They just said you'll have more playable races. you can explore more worlds, and that was enough for us to blow our minds with possibilities, right?
I just remember the hype being so fucking huge on that game for so long.
Yeah.
It was just mind-boggling,
That's
like
a
how
really good
into it
one.
we were. And then like the bittersweetness of it is like, honestly, I look back on it and Guild Wars 1 was the better game.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I remember when we were,
Yeah,
we were hypothesizing about it, we even said all they need to do is give us 10 slots for skills and then
Yeah.
add the classes, and we would be
And then
more
they
than happy.
released that they were gonna do that, so we were also amped. But then at the same time, like I'm reading farther through that article, and it's like, oh, it's gonna be dependent on what you're holding in your hand, and I'm like, well, that's like the opposite of more choice.
Yeah, I know. But I will remember
And-
that every sliver of news that came out about that game, every single one of us latched onto it and just ate
Yeah.
it up.
Yep.
We ate it up for sure.
We got sucked into the hype train right away. And for anybody who ends up listening to this in the future, we most of us, at least those who didn't join university, have played Guild Wars 1 since we were in high school
Since
together. So this
release,
game meant
Yeah.
this game meant so much to us. And like for me, even personally, you guys first introduced me to it like that. You know, that game, once we left university, still like kept us in touch in many ways when we play online. Like that game meant more to me than so many like that just simply playing a game. It was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
and Guild Wars 2 just sucked us in for years.
Yeah.
And I will say, and I don't know about it as wrapped up, but like in reference to that is, out of everything that was hyped about, the new systems, like all the new, like every single thing new about that game, the one thing I was most pumped about was being able to jump. And I will still honestly say, I can go back and I could still say, yep, that like out of everything that happened in that game, I was still the most excited about jumping.
So you want to
than
change
anything
your
else.
answer to being able to jump in Guild Wars, not the game itself, the like release of you will be able to jump.
Great choice.
When Colin Hanson said those words, you're just in bliss.
I lost it, and it's the first thing I did when I tried, because we played, like a bunch of us I think played the demo for it,
Played
like
the
you know,
beta,
years
yeah.
later.
We were in the beta,
When-
yeah.
and that was in the beta when the glitch happened where you could lay down and jump at the same time, and we all loved it.
Oh
It's
my
the greatest glitch.
It's still like the best memories from that beta is that just lying down, going to sleep,
Yeah.
and just jumping around.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, I'm glad
choice.
one of us used the Guild Wars 2 launch, because I know we were
Yeah.
all equally stupidly excited about it, but I didn't know if anybody would do that as
I
their
was
most
close.
excited gaming moment. I was
Yeah.
close.
Great choice. Great way to end it, by the way. The perfect recap for our group, for sure.
Yeah.
Great. So anyways, I'm going to sign off on this, guys. I think it was a really good conversation. As I want to remind everyone, the podcast is called What Are You Drinking? And I have been asked to, I have to obviously ask you all, what are you drinking?
Damn right.
Ooh, who goes first?
I'll go first. I got a nice glass of Phantom red wine from the Vibrant Vine, which is a winery in BC, and the bottle itself is 3D. They give you 3D glasses when you buy it.
Oh, really?
So
That's
just
kind of
normal
unique.
glasses, you mean?
That's sick.
It's fucking really cool.
You're so fancy.
I'm just going with Crown Royal Black and Pepsi.
Nice.
Oh,
Product
Pepsi.
placement right
What
there.
are you?
Yeah,
Pepsi.
what the fuck, man?
Come on.
Hey, Pepsi, if you want to come approach us for some sponsorship deals, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Episode
the
2.
cool, refreshing taste of
We are still open to all.
No, screw it. We're not doing it.
No,
I ain't a sellout.
I don't care. Yeah, I ain't no sellout. Screw that.
Are you saying
If
no,
Pepsi
no
wants
to
to come,
selling out or no
everyone
to
else is a
Coke
sellout except for Glenn.
instead? Is the no because you don't like Pepsi, or the no because you don't want to sell out?
A little from column A, a little from column B.
All right, Mikey, what are you drinking?
Pepsi shit. I'm drinking Dogfish Head, Birda, and Fusca.
What?
It's Dogfish Head's my favorite brewery from Delaware in the States, and then it's like it's like an herb spiced beer, I guess.
Yeah. So for anyone
I heard
listening,
something completely different.
anyone in the future who's listening, just consider Mike as our resident hipster beer drinker, right?
Beer aficionado.
Only with regards to the beer drinking, though. Not really a fan.
Literally nothing else.
I.e., he's got no style.
Yeah.
Unless
thanks.
hipsters also don't
Or
answer
beer.
their phone for weeks at a time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Then yes.
Pete, what are you drinking?
Oh,
Well, I'm heading off to work in about half an hour, so
So
don't get a nice
Probably good idea that it's not to drink.
So Foster's then? Is that a Foster?
It's basically water. Hayden, what about you?
I just finished a wonderful glass of some Alexander Keith's IPA.
Great choice.
Oh, classic.
Canadian all the way.
Classic.
I am drinking
was-
a Hobgoblin, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
Hobgoblin is
it's a good
good.
one. Yeah, bought for me, so this tastes even better because it's free. And yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it with some good friends. What about you, Cal?
I am drinking a bone shaker.
Oh,
Bone
yeah.
shaker. Right?
Oh, shake!
Own song is
If you said it like that, I would have given you plus points.
Good ending. That's a good wrap right there.
All right, that was What Are You Drinking, guys? Episode 2 complete. Longer than 5 minutes. I'm pretty proud about that. And
Yeah.
we'll see
And
you
I
guys-
forgot to hit record.
no bad news this time. We got to sit in stone. All right, good night, guys.